Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It is Thursday, February 26th. I'm your host, Bree Cox Kennedy. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of weather out there, folks. So you might want to make a plan to head on over to the beach. It's absolutely gorgeous and you got to take advantage of it before the weather changes. So I'll tell you about that in just a minute. On today's show, we've got an update from Third Mutual with Director Jim Hopkins. He's going to be giving you all of the updates from coyotes to all the pieces of information that you're going to need to know for budgeting purposes as well. So we welcome him on the show in just a few minutes. But first, folks, as always, want to keep you informed. And, you know, we are really busy around the Laguna Woods Village Community Center. There's constantly cars coming and going. Residents are walking to and from their cars. So with steady activity throughout the day, drivers coming through this area are reminded to be especially vigilant for pedestrians and exercise caution when entering, exiting, or parking at the facility. There's been a few of you backing into each other, so we want to try to prevent that as much as we possibly can. The recommended speed limit in the community center parking lot is 5 to 10 miles per hour. So we just want to thank everyone for helping keep this busy hub safe for everyone. Now, talking about that beautiful stretch of weather out there, folks, look this morning and the highs are even higher than we thought they were going to be yesterday. We're in for that warm stretch, which is going to last through Sunday this week. Today's high is going to hit around 81 degrees. Friday's heating up to the upper 80s. Check that out, 87 degrees. It's a great reminder, stay hydrated, especially if you are going to the beach, and plan for those outdoor activities earlier in the day. Saturday looks ideal for golf, walk around the village, or enjoying the patios before temperatures start to cool. Monday's going to drop down to about 67 degrees, so get out there and enjoy the sunshine for the next couple of days. Sunrise this morning was at 6:22 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:45 p.m. See, this is what you want to be doing on these gorgeous days, hitting the golf course. This golf course is the Lawrence Welk Resort in Escondido, sent in to us by Judy Blondo. Thank you, Judy. If you'd like to send us your photos, please do so. Please email this to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Send us your name, where the photo was taken from, and of course, in that horizontal format, please. Looks like we've got just one meeting to tell you about before we head on over to the break. And when we come back, Third Mutual.
Your eyes let you see the world, every smile, every sunset, every moment.
At Harvard Eye Associates, our team of specialists is here to protect your vision.
From cataracts and glaucoma to retina and cornea care, we offer the latest treatments with a compassionate touch.
For over 50 years, you've trusted us with your eyes. We're honored to care for them for years to come.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Annette, how long has it been since we built your patio room?
A couple, 3 months, I guess.
Yeah. And so how's it working out for you?
It's just working out great, and you did it in such a timely manner, and we just love it out here.
Yeah, and when you gave us this job, I told you, we'll do a nice job for you. Did we?
Absolutely. You really, really did it. We couldn't be happier.
Thanks a lot. Give us a call. We'll do a nice job for you too.
Many retirees own businesses they've spent a lifetime building, but don't know what they're really worth. Hi, I'm Tom Burns with the Deal Firm. I help owners understand the value of their business and their exit options on their timeline. Call now for a free confidential business valuation for business owners in our community. No obligation, just answers. The business you built should fund the retirement you deserve. To learn more about the job of a business broker, check out the February edition of Sorbet magazine.
You know, people ask me about real estate here in the village all the time. I live here, and as a realtor, I know buying and selling in our community is different. There are specific rules and details that really matter, and having someone who truly knows how it works is important. If questions come up for you or someone you know, give me a call. I'm your Laguna Woods Insider. Please call me, Melissa Fort, your Laguna Woods Insider at 949-478-5888 or visit my website.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. I've got Director Jim Hopkins with a third mutual update joining me now. Hello, Jim.
Good morning, Bree. How are you?
I'm great.
Good,
How are
good.
you doing?
Doing okay.
You're looking lively and healthy and well.
Well, looks can be deceiving.
Oh,
no,
well,
I'm doing well. Thank you.
You look great.
Okay.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've got quite an extensive update for us, which is going to be very informative. So I think we should probably just get right on into it.
Okay, we'll do that. Well, first, I just want to make the comment that the meeting attendance from residents has been light lately, but I think at the year end and early, it tends to be light. But there's a lot of important things that we do discuss and perhaps decide. Our year end and beginning of the year is usually a wrap-up for some more mundane things, and maybe that's why it's light right now. But we start off the meeting with the reporting from our CEO. And the CEO reports the big item today is coyotes, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. And so when I take my walks, and I walk daily, I see coyotes quite often, probably 50% of the time that I walk, because I walk around the
Is there
area.
any specific time that you walk, or is it just?
I tend to walk in the evenings and the mornings.
Okay, so
Okay,
the
so-
times when they're most
Yeah,
active.
They're most active. They're searching for their food, all right? And while they don't bother humans, I have seen or heard reports where my neighbors have unfortunately lost their pet as a result. So it is important that we call the hotline when we see them, because that's the only way that the resources, that is the Laguna Beach Animal Services, will know what's going on and how to address the issue, and so they can identify the target spots. So I would urge everyone out there to, when you see a coyote, call and leave a message, because this allows the Laguna Beach Animal Services to target certain areas and do what they have to do to as part of their abatement program.
Now, when you say leave a message, are you recommending that people give the location of where they saw the coyote?
Yes, give the location as to where you saw the coyote. So, and even if you don't get someone, that message is then relayed, and so they now know where the coyotes are targeted, or where to target the coyotes, and do what they need to do to as part of their abatement program. So it's very important that we participate in that. So it's an ongoing.
It is an ongoing
Yes, it's
issue.
ongoing, and I do teach a history class, and coyotes are part of Laguna Woods history since there's been the Laguna Woods. I mean, coyote and sheep and cattle and those kinds of things were here long before we had the buildings. But they can be disturbing to see.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've personally had the experience of losing a pet, so
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was
It's
years and
tough.
years ago in Laguna Beach. But it is very important, and
Mm.
it is very real.
Yes, it's very real. But as we move on into the meetings, okay, one of the things that, initially we have a set protocol for the meeting order. And one of the things we have is member comments, all right? Again, since it was attended lightly, the member comments were, some were the same, always the same. We always get a presentation from the Laguna Woods Foundation, which is a very important foundation here in Laguna Woods. It's run strictly by donations. And Chris Collins gets up and she talks about the importance of the foundation and what it does for our residents who are running into various issues, financial and otherwise, and need some social help. So that's wonderful. Another suggestion that came from our one of the residents was perhaps we should set up a reserve for something that would occur in the future. Now, usually reserves are set up for things that have happened in the past that need repair, replacement, or some other form of maintenance.
Sure.
But to set up a reserve, for instance, for solar, I think that would take a lot of convincing for the current residents to start to pay for something
Right.
that they can't see.
Right.
But it is an interesting concept, so
Yes.
it's something that I think that should be brought forward and discussed.
Okay.
And then last but not least, the History Center. We had Dorothy Pacellis talk to us a little about the History Center and how it presents some of the background of Cortese's vision. That's our developer and founder. His whole vision for this community, as well as all the other Leisure World communities, was social. In other words, we would be, as seniors, we would have a great social environment. We would have the opportunity to stay fit. And he actually preserved and gave away land around the community, outside the gates, for spiritual health. In other words, the churches and synagogues and other religious institutions that we see that are immediately surrounding our gates, that was all planned.
Right.
Okay? And so I would also add to that security. Okay?
Because yeah, he probably didn't have to think about that in what, the 60s?
Yes. The gates, we take them for granted, but this is a gated community.
Right.
And so it's just a wonderful place to be. And I do, as on a self-promotion, I give a presentation at the PC Club. In fact, it's tomorrow at 10 o'clock. One of them is tomorrow at 10 o'clock, where I try to bring into the history of Laguna Woods and the leisure world, bring it into how our governance process got formed and the importance of it. And so it's just about an hour presentation where we go through that and we discuss it. Right? We discuss it. So we start off with the history and why we have a Laguna Woods or a leisure world.
Yeah, well, his vision certainly came to life, didn't it?
Yes.
For the benefit of everyone.
Absolutely.
So you've got some focus items, Jim.
Yeah, so when at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, we start to focus on wrapping up projects and other administrative initiatives. One of the things we have to do is during the course of the year, the laws change. Of course, our state is active, and they will change laws that may impact us. So we have to go through and actually dot I's, cross T's, some minor, some not so minor. One minor thing, for instance, is the policy, the city changed its wording, and the county changed its wording on dogs and pets. Okay, in our policy we had pets. The city policy changed it to dogs. In terms of taking care of your dog on a leash, et cetera, et cetera. So it used to be pets. We used to say pets. Now it's changed to dogs. It's a minor thing, but it says that we had to basically adjust our policy to make sure that it conformed to the legal policies of the city.
Did it have anything to do with dogs being on a leash outside?
Well, yes.
Mostly outdoor?
It limited the length of the lease,
right.
of the
lead.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
6 feet.
Yeah. So it was just it was a minor thing, and I just point that out to show that when these things change, staff does a wonderful job of bringing it to our attention, and so it has to go through our board, et cetera. And these are just dotting I's and crossing T's. It's minor. Some are not so minor. Some, for instance, may have to do with how they classify a particular style of unit, of manor.
Right.
All right. And so when those classifications change, we need to conform in terms of how we identify it. And of course, over the time, our community is over 60 years old. So we may have defined, for instance, a unit as a 1-bedroom and a den, and now the city may define it as 2 bedrooms. Okay? Well, there's a difference between what is required for a bedroom versus a den. And those differences can mean a significant change in our policies. So it's just little things like that which are hidden beneath what most people see, but we still have to pay attention to them.
Right.
Okay. And one of the more unpleasant things that happens during our meeting, we have something called a consent calendar, which is very perfunctory kinds of things that just you do administratively. And one of those things, especially at the end of the year, is we have to record liens for those who either can't or won't pay for chargeable services or the things where they owe the mutual. And so this time we had roughly 12 liens that we had to record, okay, mostly for people not paying for chargeable services because they don't understand condominium living or they disagree with what was going on. One of the big things having to do with that is our insurance, okay? Many of us who live in the condos, and I do have insurance, but many don't have what they call HO6 insurance, which is condominium insurance. We had a huge presentation yesterday at Clubhouse 2 in the Sequoia Room, where Dan Yost, the risk manager for VMS, gave a wonderful presentation on the importance of it and what it covers and what it may not cover. But it is something that I think every resident in Third, and in fact United also, should take heed of because it is extraordinarily useful. But insurance is one of those things you only need it when you need it.
Right.
And so sometimes you wonder, why do you need it? But believe me, you do need it. And I think some of the people who had liens, they have liens because as a result of either can't or won't pay for something that would have been covered by the insurance. It's a chargeable service.
Wow.
Okay. And last but not least, at least on this page, is we did have, after the meeting, and we were informed during the meeting, but it didn't come out, is that the Garden Villa Association approved ting installations in the rec room. So beginning in 2027, okay, it will start to cost each resident in the Garden Villa an extra $1.40, $1.60 or so, okay, for that TV availability and internet availability in the rec rooms. But that is a sign of things to come. It won't happen until the cost of the price won't happen until 2027. However, you know, once the installation is there, you'll have it available to you. So for those who get early installations for ting at their garden villa, they'll have the ability to use that internet along with the West Coast internet in their garden villa rec room. So actually it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everyone's looking forward to that.
Yes, yes, yes. And one of the other things that I wanted to talk about is our reserves and the necessity for residents to continue to be engaged in that. It's something that we don't necessarily look at all the time, but reserves make up about 34% of our total housing HOA. So what do reserves cover? Essentially the maintenance cycles, painting cycles, pavement road maintenance, those kinds of things, which we kind of take for granted. But remember, we're a gated community. And so the city doesn't come in and pave our roads. We have total responsibility for everything because it's inside the gates. So we set up reserves for that because we know we're going to have to maintain it. Now, unlike the government, we do set up reserves. Basically, the government, everything that you set aside is for that particular year. That's not to say they're not thinking about it, but we set up reserves so that we don't get surprised. Yes. Okay? Yes. We don't get surprised. Yes. And a lot of this is reviewed at the committee level. So I think, again, and even though attendance was light at our meetings, hopefully at the committee level, and that's where residents really get to participate, is at the committee level. Many times by the time by the time anything comes up to the board level, the committees have already been fully engaged, and it's been fully discussed with residents involved. And so the committee comes with a recommendation, and then the board considers those recommendations or recommendation, and then votes on it. After usually could be a lively discussion, depending on what the issue is. And that's how things get resolved here. And that's how the community involvement, when you've got 6,000 residents or 6,000 manors, okay, and then one HOA, that's a lot to consider.
Yes.
And it's gated, which means, again, we pay for everything. It's a lot to consider. So I'm happy that most residents are enjoying themselves and not interested or don't have to be interested in the day-to-day activities of the board. But it is important, I think, for you to either understand by virtue of this meeting,
Right.
with this show, or by perhaps going online and looking at the YouTube versions of the meetings, or if you can't attend the meeting, look at the meeting online. It is available. Okay.
It's really important to stay involved.
Yeah. And last but not least is the money.
The
Okay.
fun part.
The fun part. Now, it looks like we're going to end the year on our operating side with a surplus, okay? And this is preliminary, all right? And that surplus is mainly caused by the insurance because of how the insurance cycle works. We planned on having to pay a little bit more for insurance than we did. As a result, and of course this is a result of, again, Dan Yost and the risk manager doing a lot of work, okay, along with the committee structure and our president, Robert Muchnick, in terms of having some creative opportunities for a better insurance program for us. You may recall, or some of the residents may recall, about 5 years ago, as a result of some of the fires in Northern California, the valuation as well as the price of insurance, our property valuations, plus the insurance, the fires in North, raised our insurance to the tune it impacted our HOAs by about $100 a month. I was here, and of course that caused significant upheaval in actually in the board makeup as a result of that. Because some of the folks really thought that it was something that the board could or should have done. And believe me, it was absolutely nothing. When I look at the numbers, and I don't want to go through that history, but it was a significant thing. So insurance is really something we have to concentrate on, especially within California and the whole danger of fire and earthquakes.
Right.
So so we expected to get significant savings as a result of, we got savings as a result of insurance. We estimated more than what it came in to be. It's partially offset by our increase in utilities. Because utilities have gone up, not that our utilization is gone up, but the pricing of utilities has gone up. In some cases, utilization is not what we would like it to be. Water, for instance, water conservation is very important. That's continuing to go up. But really, we do have some challenges in there, okay? And when we start to plan, our budget planning, okay, when you think about our budget planning, most of us don't have a background in budgeting. We don't even understand the operations, okay? And since directors come through with approximately, I think it's one third a year, we have directors coming in. So we have to learn what goes on before we can assess the pricing of what goes on. So that's one of the reasons the budget process takes about 6 months. Wow. And so what you see on there is just, those are the items and the descriptions of some of the departments that come in and say, here's what we do, how we do it. And then the next part is the budget development. So it's really a lot of fun being on the board. It seems like a lot of work, and it can be, but I welcome anybody. It's very enlightening. I welcome anybody who has the opportunity and the want to think about participating and donating their time and effort to board service.
It seems like they'd really get a broad education.
Yes.
Also.
Yes. The education is second to none. In some cases, some of the folks don't avoid the education. Okay. But I don't know how you can manage something effectively without understanding what it is. They call it results of operations. The financial results are results of operations. So how can you assess the results of operations unless you know what the operations are? And that's really the way I think about it.
Jim, what a pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us
My
today.
pleasure.
I love the depth and breadth of information that you've brought to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully more residents will start joining in on the meetings.
Well, hopefully. Yeah. We need that participation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your participation.
Okay.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at the weekend's movie preview. Stay with me.
Do you or your loved ones want to continue living at home safely, but are starting to see signs of Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's? Maybe it's recent strokes or falls. Having a caregiver at home can be the best way to keep you in home safely. Home Helpers has been providing caregivers for over 25 years. Call us today or join us at Laguna Cafe for free pie and coffee, and we'll answer your questions about caregiving. It's the first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m., and space goes quickly, so RSVP now.
If you're exhausted after conversations, it might not be you. It might be the strain of trying to hear. Today's AI-based hearing devices can do real-time situational analysis, helping reduce background noise so you can follow speech without working so hard, often leaving you feeling more relaxed and engaged. Try Audibel Eris. All insurances are accepted, and take advantage of our field trial that lets you test the environment where it matters the most, your daily life. Call us today, and remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's take a quick look at the Friday and Saturday movie preview. Friday's movie is Immortal Beloved, sponsored by Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Shown at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without. And then Saturday, we've got The Roman Springs of Mrs. Stone. This is a 1961 classic starring Warren Beatty, brought to us by Pacific Financial Planners. Say that 3 times fast. And again, 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without. Tomorrow on this day, Michael will be back with you. I am rambling my words this morning. I apologize for that. Michael will be back with The Deal Firm and Sports Corner. That's going to do it for this episode of This Day. And of course, from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful life.